everybody. This is your lesson today for discount and markup with percents. So because our test is Friday, I really wanted to make sure you got this lesson in today. And since I'm not here, I made this video so you will not fall behind. So what we're going to do today is watch this video where we're taking our notes from the note packet that you already have on discount and markup. And then you're going to be doing some solving problems. You'll have a chance to start these problems in class today, and then you'll need to finish them for homework. Please note, you will have a formative check tomorrow. I will, of course, go over questions in class with you first before that. And then, again, your test is on Friday. So let's go ahead and start with the notes. You need to have your Unit 3 Part 2 notes packet out on percents. And let's get going with that. All right, so if you go to your notes, we are on the part that says discount and markup, including tax and tip. And really, we're just looking at some examples here. And I'm doing this, it says by equation, but we can also look at doing it with proportions with the line equals line, okay? So let me grab my notes key real quick. Sorry. And let's take a look at this one. And these are very real world problems, so I think you will find these beneficial. It says, if a sweater is 30% off, what percent of the price do you pay? And if the original price is $60, what is the sale price? So again, let's think about that. If you go into a store and there's a sign there on this, rack of sweaters, whatever, and it says they're 30% off, well, that means you're not having to pay the full 100%. What percent are you paying? Well, you're simply doing 100%, take off the discount, the 30%, and you know that you're paying 70% of the original price. So again, here's the original price, $60. What is the sale price? So what we're trying to find out is 70%, the portion you're having to pay, 70% of 60 is what? I'm gonna write that again. 70% of $60, because again, you're not paying 100% of 60, you're only paying 70%. So 70% of 60 is what? Okay. So let's practice writing this as the equation. Remember, if you write an equation, our percent has to get turned into a decimal, so it becomes 0.70. Of 60 means we're just multiplying by 60, so times 60 is equals, and then what? That's what we're trying to find out. So when you multiply that, and go ahead and do that in your calculators right now, you'll find that this is 42. In other words, you're not paying the full $60, you're paying $42. That was the sales price once you had the discount. Right, I'm hoping you got that copy down. I'm going to erase that, and I'm going to go ahead and write it as a proportion if that is easier for you. Oops, sorry. Okay, so remember with our proportion, it's just line equals line. And instead of thinking maybe part and whole on this, maybe you can think the sales price versus the full price. So the full price, if you didn't get a discount on it, you had to pay 100% of it. How much did you pay? Well, the original price it was $60. That's if you don't get a discount. That's 100% of the cost. But you got a discount. You had a 30% off discount. So how much percent did you pay? You paid 70%, and we want to find out how much that means you paid. Of course, we would simply cross multiply. You'd have 100x equals 4,200, so 100x equals 4,200. Divide both sides by 100. And again, we find out that you paid $42. So I just wanted to show you both ways there, okay? All right, let's move on to this one down here. If a car is 5% off, what percent of the price do you pay? So you're not paying 100% because you're getting 5% off. What percent do you pay? 95%. If the sale price is $19,800, what was the original price of the car? So this one's a little bit different. Here, we don't know the full original percent. Like this problem, we knew the full price was $60 and we were looking for the sale price. Here, we know the sale price is the $19,000 and we're trying to find the original price. Okay? So we would say 95% of, and if you want to use a different variable here, maybe you want to say 95% of the full cost is, well, how much did you pay? You paid $19,800. So again, 95% of, you could use X here if you want, but I put F for the full cost, is $19,800. So again, I'm going to write that in the equation. 0.95 of the full price, so just times F, equals $19,800. I would divide both sides by 0.95, and when you do that, and I know I'm kind of running out of room here, I'm sorry. When you do that, you find out F equals, let's see, 20,842, and I'm going to round, and it's money, so two places past the decimal, $20,842.11. All right, again, if you prefer to see that set up with proportion, it's line equals line, 100% goes here. What's above that? 95%. The other amount you have in here is the $19,800. Again, was that the full cost, the 100%, or was that the sale price? It was the sale price. So we're putting that on top, and X is right there. And of course, cross multiply and solve. Okay, moving on. That was discount, so money coming off. Here we have a markup. Also think about this as tax. So on this one, slide it over a little bit. It says, if you pay full price for an item, what percent do you pay? In other words, you're paying all of it. Well, obviously, that's 100%. And you might think to yourself, well, that's all you would ever have to pay. Unfortunately, that's not true. If the item you're buying, let's say you're buying a pair of shoes, if the shoes have an 8% tax, you're not just paying 100%, you're paying the 100% plus 8%. What total percent are you paying? Yep, unfortunately, you're paying 108%. So again, you're paying 100% of the cost of the shoes plus the tax. So shoes, that's the 100%, plus the tax, and let's say it's an 8%. Therefore, you're paying 108%. Okay, let's look at an example here. If the sales price is $12.50, what is the total cost plus tax? So, God, I have a lot of room here, I'm sorry. So let's think about this. Total cost plus tax, that means we're not just paying 100%, we're paying 108%. If I set this up as a proportion, let's try that first. I have line equals line. We always know we can put 100% right here. Do we know the other percent? We do. The other percent is 108%. And again, that's okay that the larger percent is on top. Now, it tells us the sales price is $12.50, and we're trying to find the total cost plus tax. So, do we know what we totally paid? We don't. That's the 108%. We don't know that. We know this price down here, the price of the item, say a book, was $12.50. But we're going to pay more than that because we also have to pay tax. You would cross multiply and solve. If I write this as an equation, basically I'm saying 108% of $12.50 is what? So think about how we would take this right here and write as an equation. I have to turn my percent into a decimal, and we know there's that invisible decimal after the 8. I move it twice. So I'm writing 1.08 of $12.50 means times $12.50 is, well, that's just an equal sign. What? That's our unknown. And we would multiply. When you do that, you are going to end up with, I'm going to erase this so you can actually see the answer somewhere in here, $13.50. Now, does that mean the tax was $13.50? No, that means your total price, including the tax, was $13.50. So, in other words, tax was $1 because the item cost $12.50. We paid $1 in tax. We paid a total of $13.50. All right, let's try one more. Oops, sorry. Okay, I'm going to move this up just so I have a little bit more space down here. It says, if a game has a 7.75% sales tax, you pay $30.17 including the tax. What was the sale price of the game? So let's set this up as a proportion first, if that will help you. We've got line equals line. What can we always fill in? 100%. Now, the sales tax is this much, so I need to take the 100% and add this on. So that is 107.75%. Let's see the other number that I have in here. It says you paid $30.17 and this included the tax. So think, is that the 100%? Or, since it says including the tax, is it the 107%? Obviously it's the 107%. So $30.17. What we don't know is the price without the tax. We're going to cross multiply here and solve. If you write this as an equation, here's how it would look. We would say 107.75% of X equals 3017. In other words, 107.75% of the full price of the game without the tax is 3017. And when you solve this, by the way, whether you use proportion or equation, you get $28. All right, those are your notes for today. Let's take a look at the homework. Actually, let's do one more problem on here just for practice first. Let's go ahead and do this one. And again, I'm going to show this both methods because you have that option for your homework. So, Mr. Price Gouger sells water bottles for $2. On really hot days, he increases the price by 40%. How much does he charge for water on a really hot day? Okay, so let's start off with our proportion. Line equals line. What can we immediately fill in? 100%. All right, now let's think for a second. Is this a problem that's a discount, where we're gonna have less than 100% on top? Or is this a problem where it's a markup, we're gonna have a greater than 100%? Well, it tells us that he increases the price, so we know this is gonna be more than 100%. And he increases it by 40%. Man, he's charging a lot. So he's charging not just the full price, but he's charging you 140%. All right, so let's find out what our other number means in here. He sells water bottles for $2. So we've got to decide, is that the normal price or is that the increased price? And then on hot days, he increases the price. How much does he charge for water on a hot day? So the $2 is the normal full price. And if it's hot, he charges you more. So that's how we would set it up as a proportion. All right, thinking about an equation, what we're saying here is 140% of $2 is what? Okay, and we know it goes like this because think about it. If you could put 100% here, would that make sense? 100% of $2? Well, 100% of $2 is $2. We know that. So that's not what we want here. We're looking, oh, sorry, not 104, 140. 140% of $2. So let's turn this into an equation. Remember, we know that there's a decimal here. We move it 2 places to the left. So we end up with 1.4. If you want to have that 0 there, that's fine. Of $2 means times $2 is equals what? That's our unknown. And of course, when you solve this, you're going to get that x is $2.80. Same thing when you solved over here. We would cross multiply 100x equals 280, divide both sides by 100 and you'd get $2.80. So if it's hot, he jacks up the price another 80 cents. All right, so those for our notes. We are now going to do a worksheet in class. Get started on it, finish it for homework. It's called Solving Problems with Markup and Discount. On this worksheet, sorry, you are getting not what I'm trying to open up. Let's try that again. This is it. Okay, you're just getting the half sheet here. The answer key, I have posted the full sheet because you have a choice if you want to solve it as a proportion or an equation. So when you look at the answer key that I've posted, you will see the top half I solved by equations, the bottom half I solved by proportions. Again, you don't have to do it both ways. You can pick and choose, and you can go back and forth. If you like some with equations and some with proportions, that's fine. But I just wanted to have the answer key both ways on here for you. Again, this is what you're doing right here. One of the key things to think about, I will tell you, is when we're talking about discount, the price of a book after a 25% discount is $36. What was the original price? Rather than using the 25% in my problem, I would think ahead of time, well, if they're taking 25% off, what percent am I paying? I'm not paying 100%. I'm not paying 25%, though that would be really nice. I am paying 75%. So you'll need to include the 75% in your problem, all right? Again, you've got time to work on this. Check your answers with the answer key, and I'll take questions on it tomorrow. See you guys, bye.